Hello and welcome to my series, Surviving the Larapinta. This is part 8, Nature Always Wins. The Larapinta Trail is spectacular. Red ridges, hidden waterholes, vast horizons. But out here, it's not just about the landscape, it's about the forces of nature that remind us who's really in charge. From cheeky crows to endless flies, from dingoes to sunburn. The desert has a way of humbling hikers. The truth is simple. On the Larapinta Trail, nature always wins. One of the first lessons hikers learn is never to leave food unattended. Big, glossy, intelligent, black feathers and bright eyes that miss nothing. These are not timid birds. They are strategists. They sit on high branches, waiting patiently, like dark centuries of the desert. They are the crows. Crows are survivors in the harshest conditions. Heat, wind, desert, they thrive. They're bold, cheeky, and incredibly smart. Crows know what food looks like. They've seen hundreds of hikers before you. They are the masters of theft. They can undo zippers, tug open Velcro, even flip lids off plastic containers. If you don't guard your food, the crows will gladly lighten your load. When we arrived at Serpentine Gorge, we got our drop box from the shipping container. We left it on the platform in the shelter to go and see the gorge. We came back to crows ripping it apart. They then sat perched above us in a tree, watching, waiting. But they're also beautiful. At sunset, when the sky turns orange and purple over the ranges, crows glide on the thermals, silhouettes against the sun. Their call echoes through the gorges, deep, ancient, part of the desert. The desert might look empty, but at night it comes alive with tiny rustles and scratching feet. The Larapinta is also home to armies of mice, especially at the campsites. When the desert cools, they emerge, scurrying under tents, chewing through packs, nibbling at food bags. Store food inside sealed containers. Never leave it loose in your tent. The mice will find it, always. In the morning, as the sun rises over the red rock and gum trees, the mice vanish. The desert goes quiet again. You'll pack your bag and wonder if it was all a dream, until you find that mysterious hole in your food bag. The desert also has bigger scavengers. Dingoes roam the West MacDonnell Ranges. They're clever and opportunistic. If you walk the Larapinta Trail long enough, you'll meet them. Lean desert shadows, slipping between ghost gums and spinifex, watching hikers with quiet, golden eyes. Most of the time, dingoes will ignore you. They live a hard life in Central Australia. Heat, cliffs, drought, and endlessly searching for a meal. They'll trot along ridgelines, nose in the wind, picking up every scent. You'll hear them before you see them. A yip, a bark, maybe a long rising howl drifting across the desert at dusk. They're not usually dangerous to people, but they're bold around food. At Ellery Creek North, when the wind cools and the stars burn bright over the West MacDonnell Ranges, we heard them calling to each other. Long, lonely howls echoing across the ridges. It's one of the true desert sounds of the Larapinta. Wild, haunting, beautiful. The next morning, we saw many dingo tracks on the sands near the Big Hole. If there's one thing hikers remember most vividly about the Larapinta, it's the flies. Swarms of them, buzzing in your ears, crawling into your nose, settling on every bite of food. They're especially obsessed with the mouth. They love moisture, salt, and anything that might be food. Talk too long and you'll swallow one. It's practically a Larapinta rite of passage. Flies are relentless in the warmer months. They don't bite, but they test patience. A lightweight head net is worth its weight in gold. But as the sun drops behind the red rock and the shadows lengthen, the flies vanish like magic. The desert becomes quiet, cool, peaceful. You'll sit at camp, finally free, watching the stars flicker in the night sky, and you'll think, maybe the flies weren't so bad. And just when you think the flies were the worst of it, enter the mossies. They are the desert bloodsuckers. Small, sneaky, and absolutely determined. They wait until dusk. They wait until you relax, and then they strike. At Fringe Lily Creek, there are clouds of mosquitoes rising at dusk. They buzz in your ears, bite through thin clothing, and make it nearly impossible to sit outside your tent. The mosquitoes depart with the morning sun, but it also awakens the snakes. Brown snakes, womba pythons, black-headed pythons, occasionally a death adder in the leaf litter. Each one is perfectly adapted to the desert. Their scales soak up the sun. They glide over hot dirt and red rock, moving like liquid muscle. You won't hear them. You barely see them. Most hikers walk right past without ever knowing. If you do see one, it will usually be sunbaking across the trail. The safest thing you can do is stop, give it space, let it move on. They are desert ghosts, sliding away at the first sign of footsteps and vibration. If a bite ever happens, apply a pressure bandage from the bite site all the way up the limb. Immobilize and call for help. People survive snake bites. The biggest danger is panic. Out here, every creature has a shift. Flies own the day, mossies own the night. Dingoes watch from the shadows, crows wait for the leftovers, and mice steal anything not nailed down. But it's not just the animals that win. The desert itself does. Forget one small item and you'll pay the price. Forget sunscreen and you'll be as red as a lobster, burnt from the fierce desert sun. The dry air dehydrates you faster than you realise. If you don't protect your skin, lips and eyes, the desert strips you down. Wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses, they're not luxuries, they're survival. The Larapinta will give you views that will take your breath away. Just don't let it take your skin with it. Then there's the weather. On ridges, the wind can uproot tent pegs from the rocky ground, sending your shelter flying off like a tumbleweed. At high camps like Brinkley's Bluff or Razorback Ridge, the wind bites. Sleeping on top of a ridge is spectacular, but cold. Desert air has no moisture, no insulation. All the warmth from the day bleeds into the sky. The rocks go black and icy. A warm afternoon can turn into a 0-degree night in a few hours. Before dawn, the world is still. Frost sparkles on the ground. Your breath clouds the air. The first light touches the red rock and everything glows, gold, orange, pink. You'll drink hot coffee, wrapped in your jacket, watching the sun climb. The chill lifts, warmth returns, and you'll feel grateful. You survived the night, you earned the day. Then there are the storms. They build from nothing. Blue sky 1 minute, darkness the next. The wind picks up, gum leaves flutter. You smell the rain before you see it. Lightning cracks across the ranges. Thunder echoes through the gorges. Rain hammers down on rock that hasn't been wet in months. Floodwater roars down dry creeks. Storms in Central Australia are short, wild and unforgettable. The air becomes electric. Colours shift. The desert breathes. Wildflowers wake up. Tiny bursts of colour against red stone. After rain, the trail becomes alive. Frogs, lizards, birds. Waterholes reflect orange cliffs. The desert smells new and ancient at the same time. But storms also bring danger. Slippery rocks, flash floods, falling branches, and sudden drops in temperature. Get off high exposed ridges. Don't camp in creek beds. The Larapinta has seen tents washed away while the sky above was still clear. The Larapinta Trail is a humbling teacher. It's not cruel, it's just honest. Crows steal, mice nibble, flies swarm, dingoes scavenge, and the sun burns. Out here, nature always wins. The best we can do is respect it, prepare for it, and laugh when it outsmarts us. Because in the end, the discomfort, the flies in your pasta, crows stealing your trail mix, the dingo that took off with your apples, become part of the story. They're the reminders that we're visitors in this vast desert, and that's what makes the Larapinta unforgettable.